What's the biggest lesson you've learned from traveling abroad? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Teddy, and I recently hit a huge milestone in my life, which was 10 years of living abroad. I just want to say a quick thank you for showing up to my videos and for watching my videos. I spent a lot of time and energy trying to create these videos and to share something of value for you all. And so it would mean a lot to me if you can subscribe to my channel and if you can always share this video with one person that you would find it useful. Thanks. In this video, I'm going to share 10 lessons from 10 years abroad in the hopes that I inspire you to take your own trips out of your comfort zone. Let's get into it. Okay, so lesson number one, you're never alone. You'll quickly realize as you're traveling or living abroad that the connections you make with friends, with locals, with strangers are the ones that are going to really make up your experience. So it's all about putting the time and energy into these connections and watching them blossom, because those will be the things that you remember about your trip. Being far away from home is difficult, but your friends become your family because you guys are in a similar situation together. I recall this particularly crazy story from when I was living in Indonesia and my parents were visiting me. I'd already been there for about a year, and my parents and I were on some motorcycles, my mom and I on one, and my dad on another, cruising to some beaches. I'd been checking periodically in the rearview mirror to make sure that my dad was behind me and it was good, until at one point he wasn't. We had just come down a big hill and I couldn't get back up it with my mom, so I decided to drop her off on the side of the street and go look for my dad. Now, you're probably thinking, that's crazy. How could you leave your mom? But to be honest with you, that's how much I trusted Indonesian people. And it didn't even cross my mind that that could be a potentially dangerous situation for my mom. And so I ended up leaving her and then went and found my dad. And I had seen him on the side of the road with his motorcycle and a young farmer. And this farmer had a group of cows with him, and he was standing with my dad because my dad had run out of gas in his motorcycle and was just taking care of him until he got help. And so I was able to speak to this boy, thank him for taking care of my dad, and then getting my dad the gas that he needed until eventually we were able to go back to my mom. She was a little freaked out at just being there by herself, not being able to speak the language, but she was totally okay. And I think that story is a testament to the people that you encounter when you're traveling or you're living abroad. As I mentioned, I trust Indonesians. I speak Bahasa Indonesia, and I knew what kind of people they were. And I knew that in a situation like this, they could help us and support us in any way that they needed. But that was only because I've taken the time and energy to really connect with them on a deeper level. So in that situation, I learned, and I'm sure my parents did as well, that you're never really alone. Lesson number two, languages are portals into another universe. After 10 years of living abroad, I speak four languages. And up until now, I've always believed that language has been the key that has unlocked and enriched my experience abroad. It's important because it really allows you to tap into the culture. It allows you to form deep connections with the locals. It allows you to see and learn things that you may not have otherwise learned if you didn't speak the language. And it really gives you the chance to find that road that is less traveled. I'm a firm believer that it's the people that make up a place that you're visiting or living in. And unless you're able to communicate with those people, especially if they don't speak the same language as you, then you're not going to understand what their perspective is. You're not going to understand the language that they learned how to express themselves, or they learned various stories that were passed down from generations. So languages are super crucial to your experiences abroad because they open you up into an entire new world. Lesson number three, less is more. This lesson stems from my experience living with a host family in Indonesia. I was living in a tiny village for 2.5 years, and my host family and I, we didn't really have a lot. We had a few animals, we had some rice paddies, we had food on our table, and we had shelter over our heads. And I was really able to learn after 2.5 years of living with them that we really didn't need much. My family there was super happy and fulfilled, and they weren't really chasing much besides the basics that I just mentioned. We had food, we had health, we had shelter, and that was pretty much it. Everything else was pretty much secondary. And I was always in awe about how little it takes to be happy and to be fulfilled. That experience living with my host family showed me that I don't need a lot to be happy and fulfilled. As long as I have good people around me, I'm healthy, I'm eating, and I have shelter, what else do you need? I will always think fondly back to the memories where we all gathered at our house and we all ate together, or we just sat around the table and we just talked for hours, or we just sat on the front porch and we stared at the trees. Because those are really the things that taught me that you don't need a lot to be happy and fulfilled. Lesson number four, documenting your experiences helps you to internalize them. Now, in this lesson, I'm not talking about having a phone strapped to you so that you can record every single thing that you're experiencing while abroad. This one is more about the way in which you process what you've experienced. Now, this will look different for everyone, but explore ways in which you like to document or record and then stick to that. So it might be taking pictures, it might be making videos, it might be doing something with other types of art. Maybe it's painting or drawing, maybe it's writing. So many different ways that you can record to help you process an experience. I like to make videos like these. I like to write, and I also like to make mixes that stem from the sounds that I'm hearing, the music that I'm hearing, and the places that I'm living or traveling in. Maybe you've heard of the book Greenlight by Matthew McConaughey. This is an incredible book, kind of serves like a playbook for life, where Matthew McConaughey had been journaling for the better part of his life, and then one day decided to go through all of his journals and find connections and find lessons. And then this book was the result of him going through all of his journals and reflecting on all of his experiences. Mark my words, I'm going to have a similar experience 20, 30 years from now when I go through all of my journals that I've been keeping for, I think, the last 12 to 13 years. I've never gone back on these journals one time. I simply use them to make sure that I'm recording how I'm feeling and the things that I'm thinking. And one day I'm going to drive to the desert by myself, lock myself up, and go through all of these journals and figure out what happened with my life, figure out all of the lessons that I learned, figure out what are the gems that I can share with other people. Until that day, I'm going to continue to travel and live abroad and document my experiences so that I have a record. I have this giant collection of all of my memories that I can go back on and cherish. Lesson 5: traveling slow is the way to go. One of my good friends from college once told me that it's so easy to travel to a place and not have it touch you. What that really means is that you could travel to a place and never ever truly experience it. I think we're all guilty of wanting to see as much as we can when we travel to a place, checking off all the boxes, doing a lot of research beforehand, and ensuring that we do everything that we need to do to fully get the experience that we hope. Does that mean that we're going to get an experience where we truly connect to a place, where we truly understand what makes it tick, what makes it go round? I'm not quite sure. Instead, what you could do is just travel slow. Let the wind take you and see how your experience unfolds if you're not so worried about planning every single detail of a trip. I've done a little bit of both. I've done trips where I've tried to plan out everything and do everything that I can in the hopes that I have the full experience. And then I've done trips where I've only planned out the first 3 days and then I just let the rest happen. My experience from both is vastly different. The trips where I always let the winds take me are the ones that are much more rewarding, and the ones where I really feel like I'm connecting to a place and I can appreciate everything that's happening to me or everything that I'm experiencing because it's happening organically and it's happening because I'm being as open as I can to this place that I'm experiencing. Lesson 6: you won't learn where you're really from until you leave. Now, this one is going to be different for everyone since we're all from different places. But for me, as an American, it was an interesting experience leaving the United States because it really showed me what it meant to have that label on my back. It really showed me what other countries think about the United States, the opinions that other people have of the United States. And believe me, there are so many. A lot of them are based on Hollywood movies. But it also gave me the opportunity to see those perspectives, compare them to my own, and just reflect. Okay, what does it mean to be an American? What does it mean to be from the United States? And that in turn helped me to better understand where I'm actually from and what that means to me. A useful metaphor that will help you to understand the power of this lesson is the metaphor of just zooming out. Zoom out if you want to truly understand something from all perspectives, if you want to understand something from all angles. And it's not until you are able to zoom out that you can truly understand the full scope of something that you're looking at. Lesson 7: home is where the heart is. This one might sound cliche, and it is to an extent, but it holds true because when you leave home, when you travel, you're in an uncomfortable place. And at some point, you will feel homesick. At some point, you will miss your friends and your family, your routines, the things that you're used to. But it isn't until you realize that if you search for these things that do make you feel at home and you try to implement them or experience them in a new context wherever you are in the world, all that matters is that you have that feeling. What's great about this lesson is that it allows you to think about what makes you feel at home. Is it a certain scent? Is it a certain feeling? Is it a certain routine or a habit? Is it a certain food? Whatever those things are, reflect on what those things are and then try and replicate them or find them wherever you are. And you might have this feeling of being at home. There's this lovely word in Indonesian called kerasaan, which means the feeling of being home. And I remember when I used to live in Indonesia, Indonesians used to always ask me, sudah kerasaan, which means, do you already feel at home? And I thought that was really beautiful because it really forced me to think about, okay, do I feel at home? And if I do, what's causing me to feel at home? Is it the people around me? Is it the routines that I've started up here in my new home? Is it the food that I'm eating? Whatever it is, it's possible to feel at home even though you're very far away. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you. I appreciate you watching and listening. These last three are going to be my personal favorite three and arguably some of the most important lessons that I've learned from traveling abroad. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button or send this video to a friend that you think might find it interesting. Lesson 8. Traveling helps change your filters through which you view the world. This is an incredibly powerful lesson that I learned as soon as I started living abroad and living in ways that I wasn't used to growing up. I experienced this lesson multiple times when I lived in a village, when I lived in a country where the religion was different than the one that I was raised in. It happened when I met people who were educated differently, and it occurred when I had conversations with other travelers who were raised completely different than I was. The more time you spend abroad, the more time you spend talking to locals, to travelers, to other people, strangers, the more you'll realize that your own view of the world will be challenged. You'll see that there are many ways to see the world. There are many perspectives of viewing the world. And the more time you spend doing this, the more you will reflect on your own, and the more you will give yourself an opportunity to shape and mold it into something different. Whenever I'm speaking to people, I listen intently and I try to take gems from every conversation that I have. I'm a firm believer that everyone knows something that you do not know. So I'm constantly looking for those small little lessons that I can carry with me as I move forward and I continue to shape my view of the world. Lesson 9. A journey abroad is really a journey inside yourself. Traveling is not always pretty. Traveling is frustrating. Traveling is uncomfortable. It's so many different things. But if there's one thing for sure, is that things will not always go as planned. This is why this lesson is so important. What will you do? How will you react when things don't go as planned? Traveling is not about just seeing new places. It's about how you'll grow when things go wrong. You will be tested. You will be frustrated. These things will happen, but it's about your response to these situations that will determine the outcome of your trip, the outcome of your experience, and what you take from the experience. I can promise you from experience from the last decade that if you step outside of your comfort zone, growth will happen. Last but not least, lesson 10. Traveling is a privilege. I need to end all of these lessons from the last 10 years with this one specifically because it's something that I recognized early on and it's something that I will never take for granted and it's something that I am incredibly grateful for. I recognize that not everyone has this privilege to see the world. Not everyone will have the chance to see all of the places that make up this beautiful planet. It requires a powerful passport. It requires money. It requires the freedom to move. It requires coming from a safe environment. It requires so many different things. And I'm very lucky to be able to do what I do for a living and to have seen the places that I have seen. However, I've had lots of conversations with people in the countries that I've lived in who don't have those same opportunities, people who have never left their home country and may never leave. I've spoken to lots of individuals as well who dream of leaving their country and seeing different places, but again, don't have the resources or will never have that chance. Things like that break my heart. And so it's important for me to always take a step back and recognize the privilege that I have as an American and as someone who has seen a good amount of the world and who continues to travel because it's something that I'm very lucky to do. So I'm grateful for these opportunities. I'm grateful that I've been able to connect with people all over the world. I think it's an important reminder that we try to connect with others. We relate to others, show each other that we're brothers and sisters, that although we come from different places, we are all one species. And if possible, give back when you can. Show that these experiences are having a positive impact on you and give back. Transmit that positive energy back to the world and create this positive loop and this positive cycle. Once again, thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, I hope at least one of these lessons has resonated with you and inspired you to take a trip abroad. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out these other videos that I have related to travel. I recently made a video that talks about the city that I currently live in Brazil, which is absolutely magical. Check it out, and I'll see you guys next week.